Have you ever wondered how a simple cup of tea could ignite a revolution? Picture this: the dead of night. A group of rebels disguised as Native Americans, and an act of defiance that would echo through history. Get ready to uncover the surprising details behind the Boston Tea Party of 1773. This wasn't just about tea, it was the spark that set the American Revolution ablaze. Imagine a world where your morning cup of tea could spark a revolution. Today, we delve into one of the most iconic and daring events in American history, the Boston Tea Party. Prepare to uncover the full story, beyond what the textbooks tell you. But first, let's set the stage. The year is 1773. Tensions between the American colonists and the British government are at a boiling point. The colonies are simmering with frustration over heavy taxation imposed by a distant crown taxation without any representation in Parliament. Among these grievances, the Tea Act of 1773 becomes the final straw. This act grants the British East India Company a monopoly on tea sales in the colonies, threatening local merchants and symbolizing British control over their lives. The colonies are on the brink of rebellion. A storm is brewing in Boston, and soon, a single night will change the course of history forever. The Tea Act wasn't just about tea, it symbolized British control over the colonies. This act allowed the East India Company to undercut local tea merchants, threatening their livelihoods and inflaming colonial resentment.
We can't let the British dictate our trade. This is an attack on our freedom and our economy.
If we don't act now, they'll keep pushing us further. Today it's tea, tomorrow it could be our land and our rights.
The colonists saw this as another example of taxation without representation, a phrase that had become a rallying cry for colonial resistance. This sentiment was shared across the colonies, fueling a growing sense of unity and defiance against British rule. The anger wasn't confined to merchants alone. From the bustling ports of Boston to the quiet farms of Virginia, colonists from all walks of life felt the sting of British taxation and control. Colonial assemblies, town meetings, and newspaper editorials all expressed outrage over the Tea Act. Boycotts and protests began to spread throughout the colonies, uniting people in their opposition to British policies.
We must refuse to accept this tea. If we give in now, we surrender our right to fair trade and governance.
The colonies had already endured the Stamp Act and the Townshend Acts, but the Tea Act was seen as a direct attack on their economic freedom and political autonomy. The press played a crucial role in spreading the word and mobilizing resistance. Newspapers printed fiery editorials and detailed accounts of protests, galvanizing public opinion against the British. Boycotts and protests began to spread throughout the colonies. Tea, once a staple of daily life, became a symbol of oppression and resistance. Families pledged to avoid British tea, turning to alternatives like coffee or herbal brews. One particularly vocal group was the Sons of Liberty, led by influential figures such as Samuel Adams and John Hancock. They were determined to take bold action against the British.
We must stand united. This act of tyranny will not go unanswered. If we do not fight back now, we may lose our chance to secure our freedom.
We need a plan that will send a clear message to the British, a message they cannot ignore.
The sense of unity and purpose grew stronger as more colonists joined the resistance. The Sons of Liberty began to organize and strategize, knowing that a bold, decisive act was necessary to rally the colonies and challenge British authority. The Sons of Liberty were determined to make a bold statement. They began planning a dramatic protest against the Tea Act.
We must make a statement that the British cannot ignore. We'll disguise ourselves and destroy the tea before it can be unloaded.
The risk is great, but the reward is greater. This could be the spark that ignites a revolution.
The plan was audacious and dangerous, but the Sons of Liberty knew that only a bold act would send a clear message to the British government. They meticulously planned every detail, from their disguises to their route to the harbor. On the night of December 16th, 1773, they put their plan into motion. They gathered at the Old South Meeting House, where thousands of colonists had already convened to discuss the crisis.
The time for talk is over. We must take action to defend our rights and our livelihoods.
Tonight we take a stand. We will not allow this tea to be unloaded. We will not pay these unjust taxes.
After hours of heated debate, the decision was made. The colonists would take direct action. As they left the meeting house, the Sons of Liberty and their supporters moved swiftly and silently towards the harbor, their hearts pounding with the gravity of what they were about to do. The plan was simple yet daring. Disguised as Mohawk Indians, they would board the ships and destroy the tea before it could be unloaded, sending a powerful message of defiance to the British authorities. The men worked quickly and efficiently, destroying 342 chests of tea worth thousands of pounds sterling. As the tea leaves dispersed in the water, so did the fear of British reprisal. They knew their actions would have consequences, but they also knew that this bold protest was necessary for their fight for liberty. Disguised as Mohawk Indians to protect their identities, the Sons of Liberty marched towards Griffin's Wharf. It was a cold, clear night, and the harbor was calm as they approached the three ships, the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver. Each step was filled with anticipation and a touch of fear. The success of their mission relied on stealth and coordination. With precision and coordination, they boarded the ships. The crews offered no resistance, understanding the colonists' resolve. Over the course of 3 hours, they dumped 342 chests of tea, worth nearly 10,000 pounds at the time, into the icy waters. The work was grueling and cold, but their spirits remained high. Each chest that splashed into the water was a symbol of their defiance and determination. This act of defiance was not just about destroying tea. It was a bold statement against British tyranny and a call for colonial unity. The Boston Tea Party was a significant moment in the American struggle for independence. It showed that the colonists were willing to take drastic measures to defend their rights and resist British control. The repercussions of this night would ripple through the colonies, igniting a flame of rebellion that would eventually lead to the birth of a new nation. The British government responded swiftly and harshly to the Boston Tea Party. They enacted the Coercive Acts, also known as the Intolerable Acts, to punish Massachusetts and restore order. These laws closed Boston Harbor, altered the Massachusetts Charter, and allowed British troops to be quartered in colonists' homes. The blockade crippled Boston's economy, leaving merchants and workers unemployed and desperate. The acts were designed to isolate Massachusetts and quell further resistance, but they had the opposite effect. Instead of breaking the spirit of the colonists, these acts galvanized them. The colonies began to unite, realizing the need to respond collectively to British oppression. The Boston Tea Party had set off a chain reaction that would ultimately lead to the American Revolution. Representatives from across the colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress. They debated how to respond to the Intolerable Acts, drafted petitions to the king, and called for a boycott of British goods. For the first time, the colonies were coming together, setting aside their differences to confront a common enemy. The unity forged in response to British oppression laid the groundwork for a united resistance, and ultimately, for independence. The Boston Tea Party had sparked a revolution of ideas and actions, propelling the colonies towards a future where they would govern themselves and determine their own destiny. The Boston Tea Party was more than just a protest, it was the spark that ignited a revolution. It demonstrated the power of collective action and the colonists' willingness to fight for their rights and freedoms. This single night of rebellion set the stage for the birth of a new nation founded on the principles of liberty and justice. The Boston Tea Party was a catalyst that united the colonies in their fight against British tyranny. It inspired countless acts of bravery and sacrifice, from the Minutemen who stood their ground at Lexington and Concord to the Continental soldiers who endured the brutal winter at Valley Forge. The path to independence was arduous and fraught with challenges, but the spirit of defiance that began on that fateful night in Boston continued to drive the colonists towards their ultimate goal, freedom. The Boston Tea Party remains a powerful symbol of resistance and the fight for freedom. It reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, individuals and communities can make a profound impact.
It's amazing to step into the shoes of these brave men and women who took such a bold stand for their rights. Watching this, you really feel the passion and determination they must have had. It's a powerful reminder of our history.
The legacy of the Boston Tea Party continues to inspire movements for justice and equality around the world. It serves as a testament to the enduring power of protest and the importance of standing up against oppression. From the steps of the Old South Meeting House to the streets of modern-day protests, the spirit of the Boston Tea Party lives on. It teaches us that the fight for freedom and justice is never over, and that each generation has the power to shape the future. The Boston Tea Party is a cornerstone of American history, a story of courage and conviction that continues to resonate today. It is a reminder that the pursuit of liberty and justice is a timeless endeavor, and that ordinary people can indeed change the world. Now we want to hear from you. Which historical figure do you think was the most pivotal during the Boston Tea Party? Was it Samuel Adams, the fiery leader who orchestrated the protest, or John Hancock, whose wealth and influence helped rally the colonists? Maybe someone else entirely? Let us know in the comments below. And here's a fun question: if you were part of that fateful night, how would you have made your statement? Would you have joined the Sons of Liberty in disguise, bravely dumping the tea into the harbor? Or perhaps written a fiery pamphlet to rally more support? Imagine the thrill and tension. Picture yourself in the midst of the action, making a stand against tyranny. How would you have contributed to this historic moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement and perspectives add so much value to our historical journey. Let's get a conversation going. The Boston Tea Party was a catalyst for the American Revolution. It showed the British government that the colonists were serious about their demands and willing to take drastic measures to defend their rights. This event proved that the colonists could organize and execute a large-scale protest, inspiring future acts of rebellion. The courage displayed during the Boston Tea Party ignited a sense of unity and purpose among the colonies. It was a clear message to the British the American spirit would not be easily subdued. Paul Revere's midnight ride exemplified the determination and quick coordination that the colonists were capable of. The alarm he raised led to the first military engagements of the Revolution at Lexington and Concord. The shot heard round the world at Lexington marked the beginning of open conflict between the colonies and Britain. The resolve demonstrated during the Boston Tea Party had now blossomed into a full-scale revolution. The Continental Congress quickly realized the need for a unified military force. George Washington was appointed to lead the Continental Army, bringing strategic vision and unwavering determination to the cause. The Siege of Boston was a significant early victory for the colonists, bolstering their confidence and proving that their cause was just and achievable. Inspired by the defiance shown during the Boston Tea Party, the colonies declared their independence on July 4, 1776. The ideals of liberty and justice, ignited in Boston, were now enshrined in the founding document of a new nation. The journey from protest to independence was long and fraught with challenges, but the spirit of resistance that began on that fateful night in Boston never wavered. The Boston Tea Party had indeed sparked a revolution that changed the course of history. The legacy of the Boston Tea Party lives on, reminding us that the fight for liberty and justice is timeless, and that ordinary people can indeed change the world. So, the next time you enjoy a cup of tea, remember the brave actions of those who came before us and their fight for independence. The Boston Tea Party was a pivotal moment that showcased the colonists' resilience and determination. This act of defiance was more than just about tea. It was a symbol of the colonists' unyielding spirit and their demand for liberty. It was a bold statement that resonated throughout the colonies and ultimately led to the founding of a new nation. Today, the legacy of the Boston Tea Party continues to inspire. It's a powerful reminder of the impact that collective action can have and the importance of standing up for what you believe in. As we look back on this historic event, we see how it has shaped our understanding of freedom and justice. It reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, courage and unity can bring about profound change. The Boston Tea Party teaches us that the fight for liberty is a timeless endeavor. It's a story of ordinary people who dared to challenge the status quo and succeeded in creating a better future for generations to come. With that said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating dives into history. Don't forget to comment your favorite part of the Boston Tea Party and check out our other videos for more incredible stories from the past. We love hearing your thoughts and seeing your engagement with these historical tales. Your support helps us continue to bring you high-quality content and explore the rich tapestry of our shared history. So hit that subscribe button and join our community of history enthusiasts. Until next time.